What's up, everybody? Welcome, 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 welcome back to Wrestle Cave Podcast. I'm going to talk about Extreme Rules. I know I'm a day late. I know I promised you yesterday, but better late than never. I figured I have to do it for you guys. I have to put out a show. I promised you one, so I am going to deliver on that. So we had WWE Extreme Rules for WWE. Probably their best pay-per-view of the year. Pretty good show overall. I know they lost a lot of people at the end with, spoiler alert if you don't already know, if you've been living under a rock, Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion. We'll talk about how we got there, but pretty good show overall. I was at the arena. I did not go to the show, but I was tailgating with some of Markout Club and Wrestle Cave's finest. Speaking of down here, you can go to Wrestle Cave Podcast on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, Wrestle_Cave, and you can find us on Instagram, Wrestle Cave. And as always, right here on our YouTube, hit subscribe, hit the notify bell. That's how you'll get all these. I'll do a Raw review later today as well, since I'm a little late with this Extreme Rules. But like I said, better late than never. So let's get right into it. Overall, thought it was a pretty good show. I gotta say, for Philly, man, crowd was dead for a lot of the show, and I know these matches weren't that bad that you guys were sitting on your hands. There were some really good stuff throughout the night. New champions across the board, pretty much. But we can get into it. We'll start with the kickoff show, a match which nobody was really there to see. But we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. We saw Finn Balor kind of doing the reverse of what Nakamura did to him last week on SmackDown. He took it outside the ring and was really delivering some strong shots to Nakamura. But in the end, we would crown a new Intercontinental Champion in front of basically not too big of a crowd at that point. But it was a pretty good match. We got more dominating Nakamura, which we're going to see more of, hopefully. It looks like he's returning to his true form from NXT. So we have a new champion, new Intercontinental Champion in Shinsuke Nakamura. Next matchup, we saw Drew Gulak retain his Cruiserweight Championship against Tony Nese. Another pretty good matchup there. Then we kicked off the main show. Kicking off the main show with an interesting one. They're kicking it off with Roman Reigns and The Undertaker taking on Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of The Undertaker, but I gotta say, this was The Undertaker's best match in quite a few years. He didn't really have any stumbles, except for that one tombstone thing at the end, but he saved himself. I still think he needs to stop wrestling. I still... Sorry, guys. I know a lot of you love The Undertaker, and a lot of you really probably want me to praise him, and I will. I'll give him credit. He had a good showing. This is the type of matchup, if he's going to stick around, that he should be doing more of, where there's more than one guy in there and guys that are younger. There was cool spots where Drew and The Undertaker were facing off. You had Shane delivering his... actually, he had a great... really good spot where he jumped off the top rope to the outside to The Undertaker, who was on the table. Man, this was a solid match, though. He also delivered his coast to coast. There was a cool little spot right here when The Undertaker sat up as Shane was as Shane was getting up as well. So that was a pretty good spot. In the end, we would see The Undertaker. He would be in the ring with his back turned, and behind him you could see Drew McIntyre kind of looming. But as he turned around, the Roman Reigns came and speared Drew McIntyre, allowing The Undertaker to not eat a Claymore possibly. And then Roman Reigns came in, threw Shane into The Undertaker, and The Undertaker delivered the tombstone for the 1-2-3. Again, pretty good match. The crowd was really into this one. The Undertaker's best showing in quite a few years, like I said. I personally still want to see him just stop wrestling. But again, this match was pretty solid. And like I said, Undertaker's best in quite some time. Now, the next match, you had the Revival taking on the Usos in a tag team championship matchup. This is where the crowd was a little dead for this one. This is a pretty good match, but it's hard to get into a match that's not really built up with any real storylines. You're just kind of thrown together. But it was a solid matchup. The Revival would win with the Shatter Machine out of nowhere almost to win this one and retain their tag team titles. The next matchup is one I was looking forward to. As I said, Cesaro taking on Aleister Black. Great match across the board. Really, both these guys got to show that what their characters now are about. They went toe to toe for a while, really giving it to each other. Cesaro hit a lot of those stiff German or the European uppercuts. He hit his nice springboard one off the second rope. In the end, it was a black mass out of nowhere when they were striking each other, and Aleister Black just turned, delivered that black mass, and he would win with the 1, 2, 3. Pretty damn good match. I hope we do get to see these guys kind of continue their momentum and I like this change of WWE that we're seeing let them do what they can do in the ring, because this is why you pick these guys up. You want them to show what they can do. I like what I saw out of both these guys. I want to see more of that. And I hope they just keep building off that. But Aleister Black is your victor in this one, which I pretty much expected anyway. Next up, you had another match which the crowd really wasn't too into. Neither was I. I told you I wasn't into this. If you go back and check out our preview show, I told you I didn't really feel like we needed this one. But we did get Bayley taking on Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in a handicap match. And even in this match, it was just kind of Cross and Bliss had basically throughout most of the match just trying to fight off Bayley, and Bayley was fighting them off as well. It really, for me, this is just for me, it made Cross and Bliss feel a little weak in my eyes because Bayley really did basically just at the end destroy both of them and ended up winning. But it was what it was. We didn't see a Sasha Banks. We didn't see anything else. So I didn't really see why we needed this match. In my opinion, I didn't get it. It didn't do anything for me. But Bayley picked up the victory and kept her championship. The next one, though, this next match, I gotta say, was pretty fun. I actually really dug this match a lot. The last man standing match between Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman. This was really fun, guys. If you do want to go check this one out, I highly recommend it. It made you feel like it was just entertaining. These two big dudes going at it. They were spearing each other through the guardrail. They were fighting all around the arena. They were just basically beating the crap out of each other. They were Bobby hit him with the steps a few times. Went through the announce table. It was just a lot of fun, and the part right at the end where they are in the crowd, they're basically standing over top of an entranceway, and Braun picks up Bobby on his shoulder, just jumps off with a power slam. The ref starts counting. He can't see anybody because there's this big thing they obviously built so these guys don't get hurt, but this big staged area. The refs count to 10, and about 7 or 8, Braun busts through it to a huge pop from the crowd. Like I said, definitely go check this one out. I thought it was pretty fun, but that's just me. I think if you go watch it, it's pretty good. They beat the crap out of each other. Braun threw Bobby Lashley into I believe the Japanese announce team. It was just a fun match. I liked it. The next matchup, we had the triple threat for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team titles. We had the champions, the Planet's Tag Team champions, Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan, defending against Heavy Machinery and the New Day. Again, really like this matchup. I talked going in that I thought this would be a good one. I did think it was a good one again. Heavy Machinery really showed off in this match, as did pretty much everybody. I thought Heavy Machinery probably a little bit more. I felt like a lot of the other teams were kind of just there. They did have a good match, though. In the end, the New Day would pick up the victory and become the six-time WWE Tag Team Champions. It was a good match. Nothing wrong with it. I just felt that Heavy Machinery kind of stole the show as far as the tag teams went in this one. This next one, the next matchup, AJ Styles taking on the U.S. champion, Ricochet. We've seen over the last couple of weeks, we've seen Ricochet get taken out by the club, by AJ Styles, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. But Ricochet has also beaten Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows in singles competition. And he's also beaten AJ Styles in singles competition. So this was really a story that we were just continuing from Raw over the past couple of weeks, which they really set up pretty well. As Ricochet is just outnumbered here. Ricochet is pretty much just being beaten down by the three of these guys week after week. And he's having a hard time. He's winning these matches, but he's having a hard time escaping, and the club just don't care. They're just here to beat him up. In the end, we saw a really good match again. I think these guys can deliver even more. Maybe at SummerSlam, let him go one more time. But I thought that this was a good match. AJ Styles did win, picking up the victory here. I thought they might have Ricochet keep it, but after looking back, it makes total sense. This story is going to keep going. He did get a little help from the club to win. They did distract the referee. In the end, they would hit a second rope Styles clash, and AJ would win and get the United States Championship, I believe, for the third time since he's been in WWE. So congratulations to him. I'll show you a nice little picture up there. Him and the Good Brothers. Don't they look so good? So what I'm hoping now, since Finn lost that championship, I know, guys. I'm going ahead here and saying all this stuff. Since Finn lost his IC championship, put him with these guys right here. If you go check out what happened on Raw, though, it was pretty interesting what happened with Finn. But anyway, WWE United States Champion for the third time, the new United States Champion, AJ Styles. So that was pretty awesome. So like I said, we had a lot of championship changes already. We had Nakamura winning. We had the New Day winning, and now AJ winning. So that's 3 championships changing hands already. The next match, again, I didn't feel like we needed this one. They announced it on social media, just like they did with Finn Balor and Nakamura. I hate when they do that. I hate when they announce matches on social media like that. Thank God this one was really short. Is this the official burial of Dolph Ziggler? Because he's done absolutely nothing to deserve getting all these matchups. He loses all the time now. All the time. He's whiny, he's complaining, he's not even, I don't know. But basically, here's what happened in this one. Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler faced off. Dolph slapped the shit right out of Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens delivered a solid Stone Cold Stunner. And that's it. That was your matchup. Right there. That's it. What was the point of having this? I know we're building Kevin Owens, but that could have been on any show. We didn't really need that on a pay-per-view. We didn't really build it up that much. We built it up through a tag team match. But if you're going to do that, announce it. Announce it during SmackDown. Do something on SmackDown to lead to it. Even do something during the pre-show a little bit better than what they were doing. But anyway, Kevin Owens won real quick. You don't need to go watch it. You'll probably miss it if you're fast-forwarding through it anyway. Could have done without it. It is what it is. Next matchup, Kofi Kingston taking on Samoa Joe. I had Joe winning this one. I just felt like it was time for Kofi to lose it. But the New Day all has the championships right now, and Kofi would win this matchup with the Trouble in Paradise. Nothing wrong with this one. It was a pretty good match. But I would say there were other stronger matches in the night that really caught my attention. Kofi Kingston would win. So he's now got some wins over Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan. So Kofi's on a pretty good roll here. But the problem now that he's beaten Samoa Joe, is what Samoa Joe just can't win the big matches. When he just got the United States Championship recently, it was handed to him from Rey Mysterio. He talks a big talk, but right now, let's be honest, he's lost every single championship match for either the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship. He hasn't won it, and he's had a few matches. You remember he took on Brock Lesnar. I don't know, man. We got to do something here. I mean, he took on AJ Styles too, kept losing to him, and now he's losing to Kofi. I feel like Joe needed this win here to kind of make him a little bit more credible because he is credible in ring. They do let him go and deliver when he's in the ring. It's just that he's not winning these big matches on the big stage when he needs to, and it's kind of hurting him a little bit as we go down the road because he's going to keep mouthing off, and people are going to just be like, Joe, you never win. We're not worried about you. That's what's going to happen here. I'm telling you. That's exactly what's going to happen. But Kofi would end up retaining his WWE Championship, as I said. So the New Day has all the gold, which is awesome. They have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship and the WWE Champion. So that's awesome for New Day. New Day has all the gold, which is always good to see, and that is best for business, unlike some other things, which is going to have... let's get to it, all right? This match, what was it called? The Extreme Rules winner-take-all intergender match for the WWE Universal Championship and the WWE Raw Women's Championship. That's a mouthful to say. This match was good. It was just a few minutes too long for me. It took a while for them to get into it. We did have some awesome spots in this matchup where we saw the girls hitting the guys with the kendo sticks. We did have Seth and Becky kind of going at Baron and Lacey with them at the same time. We had a good spot where Lacey was on one table and Baron was on another outside the ring. And we had Becky, who was kind of standing on the ring apron, and Seth, who was on the top rope. Becky did a leg drop, and Seth did a really awesome frog splash onto the outside. That was an awesome spot. Baron Corbin delivered the end of days to Becky Lynch. So this is when we get towards the end of the matchup. Baron Corbin delivers... can't believe it. It was great. He delivered a end of days to Becky Lynch. He looks over at Seth Rollins and he says, "What are you going to do, you piece of shit?" That's exactly what Baron Corbin says to him, which was great. They're getting a lot more edgy with this. I'm totally fine with it. What's it called? What happened in the end? Oh, Seth would get up, defend the honor of his woman, curb stomp Baron Corbin, and he would win and successfully retain his Universal Championship for now. As he is there, he's looking at Becky, who's now on the outside after taking the end of days, and all of a sudden, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar shows up, and Brock Lesnar suplexes. He takes Seth Rollins to Suplex City, not once but twice, and then he delivers one F5, and he is now your new Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. Guys, we knew it was going to happen. I mean, we knew it was going to happen eventually. We knew it was going to happen. It was only a matter of when. It does make this little lesser pay-per-view feel more important. We had some very good title changes and a very important title change in the Universal Championship, changing hands at Extreme Rules. So they made this smaller pay-per-view feel big by doing things like having 1, 2, 3, 4 championships change hands and a huge championship change hands in the Universal Championship. Overall, I thought it was a good show. I know the end got a lot of people upset. I'm gonna wait and see with it. They have about maybe 2 weeks for me to not get pissed off about it, because if they go right back to the same old Brock Lesnar and we don't get a little twist or something else added on to him, I'll kind of be, I don't know. I'm not optimistic. I was very optimistic going in about some of the matchups we got, and I think some of them really delivered, especially Black and Cesaro. I thought both of the tag team matchups were pretty good. Undertaker and Reigns really showed off. I think the Undertaker really wanted to prove he didn't want to go out like he did in that Goldberg matchup. So again, those guys really solid match to start off the show and to close the show. Seth and Becky retaining, that was even pretty good. It took, like I said, it took a while to get into it, but I thought that they had a good show. But that was everything that was WWE Extreme Rules. Now, I had time to watch Evolve 10th Anniversary Show. I'm not going to break it down too much, but I'll just go into some of the results. And I will say it was a pretty damn good show, the Evolve 10th Anniversary Show. So if you do have time to go watch it, I do highly recommend. It was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania at the 2300 Arena. We had really good, solid matchups taking place, and I'll get right into it. Josh Briggs defeated Retro Anthony Green. Anthony Green took a beating in this one. Josh Briggs got the win in the end, like I said. But Green's pretty fun to watch. As is Briggs, he's a big monster. And he came out a little bit later in the night, and it's Austin Theory. So the next match was a fatal four-way. You had Stephen Wolf, you had Kurt Stallion, you had Harlem Bravado, and Sean Maluda. The winner in this one would be Stephen Wolf. He would get the victory over the other three. Pretty good matchup, as you would expect. All these matchups tonight really, honestly, were pretty good. The next one, Arturo Ruas, who was he from NXT, but his name before was Adrian Jaoud, I believe. It was Adrian Jaoud or something like that. He defeated Anthony Henry, who was awesome. If you don't know who Anthony Henry is, I highly recommend going and checking him out. Maybe not this wasn't the best, his best matchup. You can go check out a great match that I got to see in person. It was him versus Darby Allin at Evolve, I believe. I don't even know what number it was at this point, but WrestleMania weekend. But Arturo Ruas would get the win over Anthony Henry in this one. Brandy Lauren and Shotzi Blackheart. This is the one to go watch. This is one to go watch. This is all on the WWE Network, by the way. It took place on Saturday on the WWE Network. Brandy Lauren and Shotzi Blackheart, no DQ match. Go check it out. Shotzi goes to suicide dive. Brandy Lauren moves. There's a whole bunch of chairs there, and she just eats it. Natalia Markova gets involved in this one. In the end, Brandy Lauren would defeat Shotzi Blackheart, but I highly recommend going to watch that one because it was really good. Babatunde pretty much destroyed Colby Carino. Babatunde's in NXT. Colby Carino is part of the Unwanted. So after this one, Eddie Kingston and Joey Gacy come out because they have a tag team championship defense against the Skulk, AR Fox, and Leon Ruff, who I love both of these guys. Really both teams. I love both of them. But the Skulk, I'm so happy the Skulk would win it and get the tag team championships. Highly recommend going back and watching this one as well. Both teams are really good. Both teams are killing it in Evolve. If you don't know, AR Fox is basically one of the best wrestlers in the world. Eddie Kingston has been around the block quite a few times, and he will smash you right in the mouth. Joey Gacy's pretty crazy, and Leon Ruff can just fly throughout the ring as well. I really like both these teams, and the Skulk finally get the Evolve Tag Team Championships. Another good one to watch, Matt Riddle taking on Drew Gulak, a Catch Point reunion. They were formerly known as Catch Point in Evolve on their way up to WWE and NXT. Just go check this one out. It's really solid, and Matt Riddle would win with the Bro Derek and get the pin on his buddy Drew Gulak. And they would share a nice little moment after the match too, which was nice. This one, another one to go check out. Austin Theory versus JD Drake. Winner take all, WWN Championship, Evolve Championship. Go check this out. We had we had moonsaults. We had Austin Theory, who is one of the fastest rising stars in professional wrestling, to be honest. He has taken on pretty much every member of the Undisputed Era and defended his Evolve Championship. He's had a great run right now, and I think he's really going to take off and keep going with it. And he beat JD Drake in this one, and really good matchup between these two guys who could not look more different. JD Drake is a big old country boy with a big old belly, and Austin Theory's just chiseled cut, like everything you want to see in a professional wrestler. But he would win, and he is really taking Evolve and the wrestling world by storm. Highly recommend going and checking that matchup out. And the last one, Adam Cole would defend his NXT Championship successfully against Akira Tozawa. Another great matchup to go check out. and Johnny Gargano would get involved in this match when Adam Cole tried to use the NXT Championship. But in the end, Adam Cole would win with the last shot. After the match, Gargano came out, thanked everybody for being there, really gave a nice rub to Akira Tozawa. Awesome spot in this. Heyman popped up. I forget at what point in the night, but it was really cool. There was some guy, I forget his name, he came out. Nobody wanted to see him. The lights went out. When the lights came back on, Paul Heyman was in the ring, and he just was very emotional about being in the ECW arena after all these years. And it was pretty awesome. Definitely go check that out. Go watch Extreme Rules. Wasn't a bad pay-per-view. I think it was the best pay-per-view WWE has had of this year. By far was Extreme Rules their best pay-per-view of this year. If you guys would be so kind, follow us everywhere. Wrestle Cave on Instagram, Wrestle_Cave on Twitter. Wrestle Cave Podcast is great. We talk about wrestling all day, every day over there on our Facebook. If you're on YouTube right now watching us, hit subscribe, hit like on this video, comment below. Check out all our other videos. I got Fight for the Fallen that just happened over the weekend. We're going to have a Raw recap coming out right after this one. And definitely check out the Slammiversary one. It seems like people are really enjoying our review of Impact Slammiversary. So as always, it's good to see you guys. I will do another review. It will be out after this video of Monday Night Raw. So definitely go check that out. Pretty good show. A lot of things did happen, so definitely go check that one out. But until then, I will see you guys later.